See? Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to welcome you to this Quick Start Basics for Network Marketers, the 10 Core Commitments. And tonight we have a bunch of students on the line and also a bunch of guests. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. What we're doing is we're opening this up as an open house and welcome everybody here that I haven't yet, and everybody that's going to hop on, everybody that's watching the replay. We are so glad to have you join us tonight. Our goal is to equip and empower you to build a strong and profitable network marketing business and to be the best networker and leader that you can possibly be. So I'm going to get into announcements in just a moment, but just to let you know that our topic time every Sunday night, we have this Quick Start Basics class for network marketers, and we cover one of the 10 core commitments, which I'll read in a bit too. However, tonight is the core number 6, which is attend a weekly presentation. Some people in network marketing call that an open house. And by chance, we're having an open house for you, for our students and for prospects, our prospects, which are the students for the school. So actually, tonight, if you listen carefully and observe, we're going to be showing you how to do an open house while we're going to, demoing this class itself. So it should be a lot of fun. And at the end, we will have some special pricing for this class. And even our members are invited to be able to take advantage of that special pricing if you like. So we will have that at the end, and that will be up for 2 days till Tuesday at midnight. So we'll describe that in a little bit. Right now, you may want to grab a pen and paper because I'm going to let you know what's coming up this week. Jeff and I teach a leadership class every weekday, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern Time, called the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show, where we cover one of the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. That's a book. And you can get an ebook for that, a free ebook, by going, and a lot of you have, going to the MLM Facebook group, the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. So you can get that book and you can follow along at the on Jeff's or my page, and that's noon Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. This topic coming up tomorrow, Monday, is law number 11, the inner circle. And this is about those closest to you. You can guess that this applies to everything, to network marketing, right? You work with the people closest to you. So everyone's welcome to come to that. It's free, open to everybody. People are bringing friends on, and we're getting a lot of views. So it's been real fun. It's been about 9 months now that we've been doing that every day, every weekday. So it's really fun. Also on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we do another Facebook Live that is a sample of this class for everybody to learn and enjoy. And a lot of our students hop onto that one too. And the topic this Tuesday is the best way to train your team. And to give you a little clue, you're on it now, on the class. So we're going to be covering why you are so smart as to be doing the right thing, the very, very best thing for your team, being on this call until you can learn it, on this 10 core commitment basics until you can learn it, to teach your team too. And a lot of people are bringing their team over. So what we teach within the school is called the MLM Millionaire Club. And within the school, we teach a Sunday night class, which you're on right now, and we also teach a Wednesday night class called MLMU. MLMLU. That's MLM Leadership University. And this is a deeper dive into leadership. This is the inner circle of our school. And there are a number of the members on here tonight who are also in that Wednesday night class. So every Wednesday, again at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we dive deep into one of John Maxwell's books. And it's just the most deepening lessons of life that he has observed over 40 years, written 80 books, and teaches us so that the people who are leaders, those are the ones that really shoot ahead in their network marketing business. So that's why we're offering this class, which, by the way, Jeff Gamble here is a certified John Maxwell trainer, speaker, and coach. So that is why we are able to offer that class. The 10 core commitments are. You know, first I'm going to introduce us a little bit because y'all don't know. Y'all don't know some of us who we are. So, Jeff Gamble, you can see on video for those who are on their computer. Jeff has 24 years in direct sales and network marketing. He's personally sponsored over 500 people frontline. He's done over 10,000 presentations himself. He's built teams to 11,000 people in 7 countries in 3 years, and teams have produced over 10 million sales in 3 years. And he's also quite an entrepreneur, has other business too, a holistic business, real estate, and loves teaching. So tonight he's going to tell you some cool stories about how he has applied what we teach within the school. And in fact, Jeff evolved these techniques partly from real estate, brought them over into network marketing, and through his 24 years, he's evolved the methods that are the best that I've ever seen in network marketing. I am Bess McCarty. I'm a body-mind therapist and holistic health practitioner for 35 years. I started network marketing when I was in my early 20s, and I was full-time network marketer for years, helped me raise my son as a single mom. My company went out of business. I went into the body-mind therapy, the body-mind field for my own personal growth and to help others. Now they call me the shrink of MLM because I help hundreds of people personally to make breakthroughs in network marketing, to get past their fears, negative beliefs, and the blocks to their success. I am a dedicated generic coach because my calling is to be a therapist and a coach and teacher. But I'm also a minister, martial arts teacher, and have martial arts in common with Jeff. 5 years ago, met Jeff on Eric Worre's page. I had a question, he answered it, we kept talking. He kept supporting, I noticed, being a friend and supporting and saying cool things too, really smart things about network marketing. We gravitated to each other, and only last year really talked much, I think, in person by phone. And I discovered what he was doing, what method he had. He had a way to invite people and to present to them that worked with all 4 personalities, which my method just worked with 1 or 2 of them. And so that left out a lot of people. But that's what opened my eyes and really attracted me to, wow, let me take a look at what he's doing here. And of all the network marketing teachers that I've been studying and bringing into my school, that bringing in their methods into my school, this was the best I'd found. For the last 10 years, I have been running a school for network marketers called the MLM Millionaire Club, generic school. Everybody's in the school. And when I found Jeff's method, I thought, oh my gosh, I have a book called Always Get a Yes, but when I looked at his script, it was like, wow, even better than mine. And it never got a no. In all the presentations, the thousands of presentations that he's done, doesn't get objections, and it duplicates, doesn't need a video. And we started I said, would you come and teach us within the school? So he did, and then we realized we're going to be teaching together. So Jeff and his fiance and Brandy and I run the school. And tonight we're going to share with you what that method is and how to invite people, how to present to people in the most efficient way to get the fast results. And that's why people in our school are jumping ranks. We hear this over and over and over again. Oh, I jumped 3 ranks, by the way. I jumped 2 ranks, by the way. I, jumped a rank within the last week. And they're using these methods. And mostly they say that, yeah, it's due to using these methods. So what we want to do in this open house for you tonight is share with you what this is, as well as cover the core number 6. So what are the 10 core commitments that I keep talking about? They are, number 1, getting started right. Number 2, be here a year from now, which is about commitment. Number 3, personal development. Number 4, market daily, which means including how to invite. Number 5, present daily, including how to do that 10-minute presentation, which we're going to give you the tools to. And number 6, attend a weekly presentation or an open house, which is the topic tonight. Number 7, attend a weekly core training, which is what we're doing tonight. This is the core training that we do weekly of the 10 core. Number 8, attend a monthly regional. Number 9, attend all company conventions. And number 10, have a monthly massive action plan. So when I coach network marketers, some of them say, wow, this is what we do in our company, and it's not new, it's decades old, and it's proven to really, really work. So fortunately, Jeff has had this overview and knows what to bring the very best to this school, and that's the 10 core commitments and the leadership things. My part is that I help network marketers have the breakthrough, but I love teaching all the communication and everything too. So you may want to grab pen and paper, take notes through all of this because it goes pretty fast. It's pretty full. At the 90-minute time, usually the classes last about 90 minutes, so we're going to turn off the recording and allow you to ask questions, have open coaching. And what we'd like to do at that time for those who would like to speak is we want to ask you, what's your favorite takeaway that you've gotten from tonight? What's your favorite thing that you've heard? And then we will go through again and ask who has any questions or any tips, any things to add in. Repetition is the mother of success, and that's why we teach one of these 10 cores every week and why people come on each time to hear us dive deeper into another aspect of that core. We have a certificate for you when you've attended all 10 core or watched the replay. Keep track of that and let me know when you've completed all 10. You get a certificate for that. There are 10 levels in all, 10 certificates. Some of you guys have completed level 1, some have completed level 2, and are already working on level 3. So the goal, of course, of attending all this is to be able to teach this to your team. Let's see, we also have a private Facebook group, which the members are in. And again, at the end, I will tell you about some really cool specials that Jeff and I have prepared for you, so you can save money being in this class. Even the members already in it are welcome to take advantage of that. So right now, I'll turn it over to you, Jeff.
Okay, so keeping with time, I'm going to go ahead and mute that out. You can hear me okay, yes? Good. Okay, so keeping with time, we have about 65 minutes left, give or take. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get out the majority of this information and still leave time at the end, because we always like to do this time-wise, but it's already 9:21 on my watch, Eastern Standard Time, so I'm going to try to blaze through this information. And what I mean by blaze through the information is obviously we have people in the school who have heard this before, and we have people obviously hearing this for the first time. So since some of it's going to be repeat, what I learned to do in meetings is usually I went to events where the speakers I would walk in with a Dixie cup and they would basically start out with the fire hose. And I got, stuff, but I could only use so much because I could only comprehend so much. So what I'm going to try to do is give something, some part of value to everyone that's attending. So with that being said, some of you, don't know this, but I started in network marketing when I was actually 17 years old. And the reason I was 17 years old is because I didn't know you were supposed to be 18 to be able to legally sign a contract in the United States. So I attended the first meeting. I saw the business when I was 17. I wanted to get in and get started, so I actually lied on my application. Let's just be real transparent and honest. I didn't know the difference at that point, so forgive me. And I got in, I got started, and I attended my first event. I actually it was actually my girlfriend's parents who basically presented network marketing to me. And when I saw it the first time, and he drew out he's like, this is me, this is you, there's a support system here, and there's a teaching training program that will teach you how to build this and how to put it together. I mean, I was mad. I was upset. I was like, where was this on career day? I wanted to punch my guidance counselor in the face when I first saw this information. And the reason I was so upset and wanted to do that is I was like, I was always taught, go to school, get good grades, get into a good college, choose something, and that's what you're supposed to do. I thought that was how it worked. And what come to find out is success does have to do with studying and does have to do with knowledge, but it doesn't so much have to do with school itself. And that was a very hard thing for me to convince my mom, who's an elementary ed teacher, and my dad, who's a college professor. So you can imagine when I see direct sales network marketing, and I come home to my mom and tell her, hey, I would rather not go to college and do this instead. And she basically said, and you will live in a 6-foot deep hole out back if you make that decision. My dad wasn't so threatening. He's just like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. He goes, if you told me you wanted to do this along with college, I wouldn't have so much of an objection of you doing something outside. Like, he was more like, do a little bit of everything, get some experience. That's an industry that's tough. It's an industry that's hard. And here's what I can tell you about this industry. The reason it's tough and the reason it's hard is that, when I ask this question, do you think it's more like, is network marketing more like work or more like art? And I was just recently asked to speak at a college, so 2 weeks from now I'm actually going to a college here in Indianapolis that I'm going to speak at, and I'm going to speak at their business, one of the business classes, and that's the same question I ask a lot of people when I first go in, is network marketing work or is it art? And if you look at the definition of work, you normally see that work, a job situation usually has defined responsibility, right? You know what time you're supposed to get there. You know what you're supposed to do in the morning. You have a set lunch time. You have a set break time. You have a set end time. You have a certain amount of hours you have to punch in every single day. There are certain responsibilities you have to take care of. There are rules, right? There are rules. There's usually a rule book when you first start most jobs. Here's the rules. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can't do. There's a dress code at a lot of places. It's funny how people, they're not worried about the money, but they're worried about what they can wear to work. I'm like, you missed a point of the whole financial world. And the worst part is a lot of times they have degrees in business and accounting and management. But they're more concerned about what they're dressing like these days than they are the actual pay that they're getting and what they have to do. Because, nothing says freedom like I'm allowed to wear a different kind of shirt. I'm being a little sarcastic. I apologize. By the way, I'm super sarcastic. I watched a lot of comedy growing up, a lot of dark comedy, so that's kind of my background. I'm not here to offend anybody, but just know if I haven't offended you by the end, I'm not trying to single you out and not offend you. I'm trying to offend everybody equally. As my friend's like, you just got everybody with what you just said. So I'm just joking. But let's get back into the training here. So there's 3 mindsets when you join network marketing. And I'll just tell you, the mindset that I have doing this is 100% recruiting, building a team. Yes, I know we have to have customers. Yes, I know long term you want to build an organization of people buying your product, but my philosophy is built on building teams, recruiting and building teams. That is my mantra. That is my philosophy. If you ask me what my identity is, when people ask me, well, Jeff, what do you do? I said, well, actually, I'm a recruiter and a trainer. I'm a team builder. And people like recruiting, training. I said, one of those guys that goes finds all the talent and brings them onto the team and then basically teaches people how to be independent and work their own thing. And they're like, and people usually are, oh, okay, well, who do you do that for? I said, well, actually, I do that for a lot of things. I do that for real estate. I do that for our holistic business. I do that in direct sales. I have a class online that we teach with, a friend of mine, Beth. So that's what I do. Welcome. Somebody else just joined here. Jumping on. So the 3 mindsets of network marketing is number 1, you have posers. That's the lottery mentality. Certain people will get in this industry, in this business, and they will literally sign up expecting a lottery ticket with 6 scratch-off faces. And what they do is they have the people that they think will do this in those spaces, and they'll scratch each one off and be like, hey, John, are you interested in this? Hey, Kenitha, are you interested in this? Hey, James, are you interested in this? Hey, Francisco, are you interested in this? Hey, Dr. Ping, are you interested in this? And they'll go through all 6 people, and if those 6 people don't join, because those are the 6 that are going to make them rich. I don't know if you've ever done this. I did this too. Like, I had my uncle in one space, and I had a good friend of mine in another space, and I had my mom's friend who was in insurance in another space. I literally thought if I could just put this in front of these people that I was going to get rich and I wouldn't have to do anything. Boy, was I wrong. None of the 6 signed up, and none of the 6 to date have ever signed up. Well, I take that back. I did sign up my uncle. Because it was a promotion and I asked him for a favor, and I figured out how to ask him the right way, but that was like 3 years later when I had already made it big and everybody in the family knew that I knew what I was doing. So I can't say that none of them did, but one of them did help me out with one of the products we were marketing. But the poser mentality is like they look at it like a lottery, which means they're just in it for the week until they scratch these people off. And then if those people don't work, watch this, they'll quit that business thinking it doesn't work, and they'll go to another business and show the exact same 6 people another network marketing business saying, oh, but this one's different. This is a different product. This is a different company. This is a different comp plan. This is a unique product. This is something nobody has. This is something huge. This is something you can use. And they have all these different reasons, and the same 6 people say no. And then they'll get out of that company and they'll start another company. If you've been doing this for a while, grab a pen and grab a piece of paper, because the rest of what I'm going to teach you is going to help you stop doing that. The next mentality is the amateurs. And the amateurs kind of run around and they'll go to a meeting here and there, and they'll listen to a call every once in a while, but they think that there's one thing. They think that there's one technique, that if they learn this one technique or this one way to word stuff, that everything else is going to work out for them. They're looking for this one technique, this one thing. And it's, the same thing John Maxwell will go in and teach for half a day about leadership. And he said it never fails that somebody at the end of the day will come up to him and say, John, if there's one thing that I need to know about leadership, because I'm sure there's lots of little things, but if there's one main thing that I need to know about leadership, what is the one main thing I need to know about leadership so I don't have to take all these other stupid classes and I don't have to read any of your crappy books? He literally has people say this to him. And he came up with the perfect answer. He said, the one thing that I can teach you about leadership is there's more than one thing you need to know about leadership. And the same thing is true with direct sales and network marketing. There's more than one thing that you need to know. Like, if we could honestly teach this to people in an hour and then you were going to go out and be successful, here's what I would tell you about the industry is the industry would be over. There'd be zero opportunity in this market space, because it's been around long enough that the people who really love to make money would have already made all the money, and there'd be zero opportunity for you. So as one of my mentors said, don't want what you don't want. You don't want it to be super easy, because if it was super easy, it'd be over already. You don't want it to just be one thing, because if there was only one thing you needed to learn, everybody else would have already learned it, and there'd be zero opportunity for you. I like this industry because there are many things you need to learn. There are many lessons. And here's what's great, and write this down. I don't have to be perfect to make great money in this industry. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like any $1 million earner to make great money in this industry. You just have to get good at some basic things, and you have to do them consistently. Professionals have realistic expectations. I need to come in. I need to learn what it takes to do this. I need to learn the pattern, the program. Now, here's the problem with the industry, is the industry has a lot of things up front, that says, say it this way, do it this way. There's a lot of things in the industry, and I've got these on my phone. There's 6 little lies inside the industry, and I'm just going to read these off real quick because I think they're pertinent to this conversation with a lot of new people on. There's 6 lies that are told over and over and over again in the industry. And here's the thing. The lies in the industry aren't necessarily there to deceive people. They're there to kind of make it easy to make a decision to get in. That's what they're there for. They're there to get you in. But they're not necessarily great lessons to teach once you're in to make it work. So the first lie, and you're going to laugh at some of these because most of you have heard these. Most of you heard these a lot. Most of you hear these at your meetings. The first lie is stick and stay and you'll get your pay. Have you ever heard that, just stay in long enough? One of the 10 core commitments was just be here a year from now. And what I can tell you is there's more to it than be here a year from now. There's do all the work and be here a year from now. There's 10 extra business for a year and be here a year from now. But stick and stay and you'll get paid. The reality is if you just stay in and do nothing, you will not get paid. And that's a harsh reality to a lot of people. But there's no seniority in network marketing. Nobody, I mean, you might get a pin or a ribbon, but you ain't going to get any money just hanging out. It's unfortunate. Just like the gym. If you sign up for the gym and you go to the gym every day and don't work out, is your health going to improve? Probably not. So just staying in isn't really good. 2, Slow and steady wins the race, man. If you just slow and steady. And there's a saying that goes along with this, and it says if you get enough people doing a little bit over a long enough period of time, you can make great money. So what people focus on is a little bit. Well, I just need to do a little bit. No, you don't need to do a little bit. You got to do a lot. You got to do a lot to get a lot of people in so they might do a little bit. And a lot of people have that a little bit backwards and wrong. And think, I'll just kind of go with this really slow. Now, here's the problem: is there's always that one guy that was able to kind of go slow, but hit amazingly talented people, and they use him as the example to tell everybody else that isn't moving fast, just stay in. So these first two are really about retention. They're set at the front of the room so that way they retain you and you come and you stay in and you keep buying product for another month. But it is not accurate to building a business. If you put these two lessons in front of a monster builder, I mean, imagine these two lessons, put them in front of like a Grant Cardone. Grant might slap you. I mean, he might try to hurt you. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. If you put these in front of a Gary Vaynerchuk, by the way, these are people I'm mentioning. If you don't know their names and you're inside of our space of network marketing and direct sales, you want to write their name down and look up who they are. I'm not saying you have to like them, but if you plan on recruiting great people onto your team who are building significant businesses and you don't know any of the names I'm mentioning, this is what we talk about realistic expectations about starting to learn things outside of your network. The next one, 3. You only need 2 people. You only need 3 people in our comp plan. In our comp plan, you only need 5 good people. I was told this over and over again. You only need 6 people. If you find 6 people, this was in a particular company. If you find 6 people, 6 different people in 6 different lanes, all you need is 6. You know, and we would kind of make fun of it and be like, you only need 6 people. You know, there's 6 handles on the side of a casket, so you need all 6 because if you are missing one side, you might fall out. Or you might drop somebody out. And that's kind of, you know, you might get that joke later. But the reality is you're going to need, yes, you need to find 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 good people, but you're not just going to recruit 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people to find the good ones. Just like sports, I mean, think about this. I mean, this is a really good way to put it. To build a winning team in baseball, basketball, football, don't even those teams who are paying millions of dollars for people have to recruit new people consistently and replace old people consistently, not even to win the ring, but just to be able to compete against the teams winning the ring. They have to consistently change out the people. And a lot of times, think about this, the number 1 losing team in the NFL, those guys got paid, I can't remember what it is, it's like $975,000 is what like the entry-level guys are making. The entry-level guys are making it. They're the worst team. And there's guys on the worst team that made millions of dollars a year. The worst team. And they have to recruit. They have to consistently recruit new people. So what in Harry Potter crystal ball world makes you think you're going to be able to recruit 2 people and the first 2 people you recruit are going to be the winners that take you to the top? Like, how does that even compute? And here's the problem. I thought that. I had that messed up. I recruited these 2 guys. You know, when I first got into network marketing, one of the first 2 people I recruited, one of them didn't have a car, didn't have a cell phone, never had a job, he straight out said, I don't know anybody, I hate people, I don't even like people, I don't even want to do this, why are you recruiting me? And I'm like, man, you're going to make it. And I would actually go to my meetings and be like, I got my 2, woo, I'm going to make it. And what I found out later is I actually needed to recruit a whole lot more people. And here's just a rule of thumb. If you want to absolutely, positively play the numbers right, you're going to find basically 1 person who sticks around for a while out of every 5 to 10 people that you bring in. You're going to get somebody who will stay for a year. which means if you want people to stay in for 2 years, you're going to have to recruit about 20 people. If you want 3 years, you're going to have to recruit about 30 people. It literally is in those multiples that I've found. Now, I've had people who have stuck with me for 5, 6, 7 years inside of a company. From the very beginning, there were people who stayed in, didn't really build big, but they stayed in and did a little bit. And I was also able to recruit 100 people to find them. Now, let's get into how you find these people, because I'm sure a lot of you are like, well, I came on here, I kind of know this stuff, Jeff, thanks. So a couple mentalities. Number one, you have to think like a business owner. A business owner, here's the easiest way to put it. You're going to have to take 100% responsibility for your own business. This is not your upline's business. Nobody's supposed to show up and do this for you. Nobody's supposed to make calls for you. Nobody's supposed to find these people for you. Nobody's supposed to place everybody on your team for you. It's your business. You have to make something work out of what you have. And what I would say is take the best of what you hear and make it work for you. Number two, you have to think like a networker. And thinking like a networker, you got to think duplication. Number one thing, you got to think duplication when it comes to network marketing. Is what I'm doing going to be able to duplicate down into an organization? And that's hard because I have people send me all kinds of crazy ideas. There's all this new technology stuff out there that people want to use. And I'm like, 2 years. 2 years. Every 2 years. Guys, a cell phone that people will pay $1,000. I think my cell phone here is worth like $1,200 brand new because it has a lot of memory or something in it. It gets replaced every year. Some people are like, oh my God, you have the old one? I was like, it's a year old. They're like, oh, that's the old one. I have the newest technology, facial recognition, stamp recognition, eye recognition, broke recognition, it knows that I don't have any money, and I have a $1,200 or $1,800 cell phone. I'm like, congratulations. If technology is changing that fast, what I can tell you is if you want a long-term approach in this business, stay away from quick, easy, one push button stuff. I teach against most of the tools that make everything work faster. Here's what I can tell you. If the tools, again, don't want what you don't want. If the tools made it so easy for you to just be able to recruit everybody, if there was a certain funnel or a certain system that would allow you to recruit thousands and thousands of people and you got to sit at home and do everything, then the company doesn't need you. They would get rid of all the reps, turn that system on and be like, peace, the owners made money, the field gets screwed, and it would be over in a second if it really worked. But there's a lot of programs out there that have a 3-step system that they're trying to sell you a load of crap, is what they're trying to sell you. They're trying to sell you 15,000 different classes on how it's only going to take a second. And the reality is you don't even have your back office set up for your own business, let alone you're going to start all this new technology stuff, right? So you have to think like a networker and what duplicates, what's long-term. And write that down. Long-term is what you're looking for here. And number 3, you got to think like a leader. And leaders think long-term. Leaders think, okay, I'm going to put something together, and I'm going to do, watch this, I'm not going to do what's fast. I'm not going to do what's just easy. I'm going to do what's right, so that way the people who are following me won't want to kill me in 6 months because I led them down a path that I thought it was going to be a get-rich-quick, and now I have 8 people looking for me and sending me hate mail and messages online. And that might be harsh to some people, like, oh my gosh, what is he talking about? This is what I'm talking about. This is what's important. So let's get to the meat and potatoes, because I'm sure that's what everybody's here for. So I was taught this 8-step pattern. And this 8-step pattern is basically getting people started, and it's kind of philosophy of building. Number 1, you want to define your dream. You want to define your dream. I don't spend a ton of time helping other people define their dream. That's not the most profitable thing to do. Although, I will introduce people to different experiences. I will introduce people to different things. I do take people and show them different cars that they've never seen. I take them to show them different houses in different neighborhoods they've never been in. I take them to different restaurants that they've never tried. I try to widen people's experiences so that way they have an idea of what's out there. And here's the thing, I have a very small idea of what's out there because I haven't been everywhere in the world. I've been out of the country. I've dined in restaurants I don't know the language and I can't read the menu. I've tried some different stuff. I've been in homes where the front door was $100,000. The front door was over $100,000. The entryway was $1.1 million, and that was only 15 feet inside the front door. That's a different world. Like, I didn't grow up in a world like that. If somebody said, you know, hey, the entryway's $100,000 or the entryway's $1.1 million, I'd have been like, you could have bought my whole freaking neighborhood for $1.1 million when I grew up. The whole neighborhood, like every house in it. And some of the people would have stayed and mowed yards for that kind of, I mean, you know, they would have stayed in the neighborhood and worked for you. That was a different experience for me. I got to meet people who made $1 million a month, you know, and had things like, they didn't, you know, I had friends that had fishing boats growing up and they went fishing, but I didn't have a friend that had a yacht, a 60-foot yacht that cost $30,000 to fill the gas tank. Like, that's a different world, right? You know, I have friends now that have jets. Like, not a plane. Okay, so a plane, like I have friends that have prop planes, but I'm talking about a jet that has a jet engine. The difference is a prop plane, you can get into a prop plane in the low 100,000 up to $1 million-ish dollars. You can't get into a jet for under $5 million. That's a different world, you know, that has to be cleaned, and, you know, we got to get inside of some of those 12-passenger Learjet. It has sheepskin rug. Like, the guy's like, take your shoes off. I'm like, we're just getting in a plane. He's like, it's sheepskin rug. Let me tell you how much the rug costs. And then he told me, and I was like, okay, let me take my shoes. I don't even want to get in the plane. Like, that freaked me out. And it had individual seats for each person, and then once it took off and you took it like rotated out and they like swiveled around so you could like look at everybody, and they'd pull a table up in the middle and you could have a board meeting while you flew to your next meeting. It was wild. I'm like, that's a different way to live. I didn't even know some of that way of living existed until somebody showed it to me. So define your dream, and here's the thing. Here's where you want to start out. Define your dream and say, what would it take to get all my bills paid, be out of debt, and put X number of dollars in the bank? Like, what would make you feel totally secure? I love what Jim Rohn says. What will it take to build a financial wall around you where you never, ever have to count on anyone else again? That was my dream initially. I just didn't want to work for anybody. I wanted to control my time. I wanted to control when I got up in the morning. I wanted to control when I went to work. I wanted to control what I did. I wanted to control how often I had to do it. I wanted to be able to eat in any restaurant I wanted to. I wanted to be able to leave when I wanted to. I just wanted control of my life. I didn't want to have to listen to somebody else. That was my main dream. Second, set your goals. Everybody has levels in their company. Your first goal is whatever your first level is in your company. And then you have to set a time frame to it. Third, you want to write a list. Your list is your database or your inventory. You know, and this is just business 101, guys. And I didn't make any of this up. This was actually given to me. But if you look at the book, Think and Grow Rich, Think and Grow Rich says, you know, you have to have a white, hot, burning desire. You know, that's first. You have to be humble and teachable. Right? You have to make an absolute plan and set a goal. Like, that comes from Think and Grow Rich, a book that's 120 years old or something, that came from the 500 wealthiest people on the planet at that time all said, hey, these are the 13 things that all of those people have in common. That's where that information came from, and that is the beginning of this list. Then you make a list of people, and people are like, oh, but my people are like this, and my people are like that, and you don't understand who my people are, and you don't understand the people I grew up with. Here's what I can tell you. They're all the same. They're all the same. Here's the problem. If you don't have the right system, and you're not saying the right words, no people will work. But when you get the right system, with the right words, and you're working with the right people, I can make anything work. I can make leads work. I can make friends that told you no work. Like, I can get through where you can't get through because of the way that we do it. And I'm going to get to that here in a second. 4, contact and invite. Contact and invite. There is a professional way to contact and invite. There is a way to do it in which you will get massive results. And there's another way to do it where you will get massive rejection. Now, if you had the choice of getting massive rejection or you had the choice of getting massive results, which one would you choose if you had the choice? Hopefully you would choose massive results. And that is probably one of the biggest places that I've been able to change what's going on in the industry, where I come in and can just smash it instantly, and I teach people how to have success instantly with that one part, the contact and the invite. If you change your contact and your invite, you will change all results. 5 is the presentation. The presentation. And I ask people to do things that most companies say don't do. And I'll get to that here in a second, which is basically actually present. Number 6 is follow-up, follow-through. Number 7, check your progress. And number 8, repeat these 10 cores. So let's get into this, because I think this is one of the most important parts. Your list is your business and your inventory and your database. So what you want to actually do is have a list of name, phone number, and everybody you know to start out with. So when I'm getting people started, I start with only 10 names. But if you're going to build a long-term business, you want to build the biggest possible list you can. The reason you want to build the biggest possible list you can if you're going to be long-term in the business, not launching somebody. So there's a difference between building your business and launching somebody. Launching somebody, I'm going to build a relationship with them. I'm going to get them dreaming. I'm going to show them basically the contact we're going to use. We're going to go through 10 people, and I want to get them 1 recruit. That's launching somebody. We're talking about building a long-term business. You want to write down every name, every number. You want to get either a notebook or a contact manager of some kind, and you want to have, as long as you can get it. The bigger the list, here's what happens. What I found is the bigger the list, the more secure you are at going through the list. The reason the more secure you are is there's no fear of running out of people. See, most people have a scarcity mindset. Oh my gosh, if that person gets contacted, then there's somebody less on the planet, you know, that there's less for me. You know, some people have, like, there's one pie out there, and as soon as there's a slice missing of that pie, then there's less for everybody else, and that's absolutely incorrect. And my friend said it best a long time ago. He taught this to me. He goes, there's never been a lack of anything, because technology tends to fill in the gap, right? There used to be a lack of oil. I don't know if you know this, but there was like a huge oil embargo, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to run out of oil, and gas prices spiked and everything. And then technology came and found out that we were able to drill like 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles deep, and all of a sudden there was more oil than we had to know what to do with. But it was a short period of time. For like 3 years, people freaked out, and it was scarcity. And oh my gosh, it's going to saturate, and we're not going to have any oil left, and everything's going to be gone. If you go back to the early 1900s, the problem was is they said, you know, New York City, this was actually an article in the paper that said New York City, based on its current population and based on the current amount of horses, that New York City would be buried 10 feet deep in horse manure. Now, if you've ever been there, the smell is about the same. But did it happen? No, because about 10 years later, the car came out, and how many horses do you see right now in New York City? Now, there are some. There's mounted police, you know, and they're in Central Park. But you don't see a whole lot of horses and carriages anymore in New York City. Now, there are horses and carriage for, like, you know, the romantic idea, but not to the point that they're talking about. So what we're talking about is technology comes along and changes stuff. But the basics are still the basics inside of network marketing. So write down a list of everybody you can possibly think of, and then we're going to show you what to do with them. The best way to contact people. This is the basis of everything I teach, really. The best way to contact people. Now, these statistics are slightly old, and the results are slightly worse than they were when I wrote it. 84% of Facebook posts go unseen. It's almost 89% now. 89% of Facebook posts go unseen. So if you're posting, hey, I just got into this company, congratulations, nobody saw it. Few people saw it, not many. And I love the post that says, hey, I just got a new job, and it has like 150 congratulations. And the next post says, hey, I just joined my own company. And your mom's like, good for you. You know, I mean, like, one result. I don't know if you feel that way, but that's actually how people treat this. 71% of tweets go unignored. By the way, if you're tweeting about your business, tweets are really good for, it's a great search engine technique, but it's not necessarily a great way to present your business. Oh, click on this link. Never going to work. 88% of emails go unopened. In fact, if you're just sending emails to people, now, do emails work? That's the question. You know, people like, well, can I still use email marketing? You can still use email marketing, but here's the trick. You have to have a list, an email list, that's thousands of people big. I have a friend that made a lot of money just recently using an email list. But let me give you an idea of his email list. It was 30,000 people. 30,000. When you run the numbers on 30,000, it says 88% of emails go unopened. I'm just going to use an easy number. Let's say 90% go unopened. So if you send 100 emails, only 10 people open them. That's the first problem. The second problem is, based on statistics, 90% of people who open an email only read the first line. They only read the first line. So if the first line doesn't catch you, the rest of the thing, you're not getting anywhere. So now you went from, watch this, you went from 100 people to 10 people. Out of the 10 people, 9 people just read the first line and clicked off of it. That leaves one person left that read the first 3 lines. They only got 3 lines in and were like, nope, this is crap, delete it. I mean, email used to work because email was like the cool thing, what, 15, 16 years ago. And you would send an email and you'd read through it like, oh, cool, John sent me an email. Nowadays, I mean, you know, somebody could be giving away a free house. You're like, delete, get out of here. You know, I mean, it's worthless. You know, I don't care what they're giving away. I don't want it. Freaking trash mail. You know, you just won $1 million. Click, delete, you know. But here's an interesting thing. 98% of text messages are opened. Not only are 98% of text messages open, 96 out of 100 text messages are looked at and read within 6 minutes. That gives you a really good idea of being able to get to people. Now, I've also found that Facebook Messenger, if you're friends with the person, so let's clarify, if you're friends with the person, and you haven't put a bunch of garbage on your Facebook page to the point where they hate you because of your, whatever your like, dislike of the world is, because, you know, people have all kinds of weird stuff that they put on the Facebook messages. So if you're not liked, about 96 out of 100 messages are open, looked at, and read within 6 minutes, as opposed to like an email that's sent out. For those of you who don't know, an email that's sent out, it takes approximately 16 hours for people to open that. 16 hours before somebody opens the email, as opposed to a text message. So what I found is text messaging is one of the fastest ways to get to people. But here's what doesn't work. Here's rules. These are rules to live by in network marketing. No mass text messaging or auto dialing. If you're using either one of those, quit now, because you might get people in, but you'll never get that any farther than that. 2, no mass Facebook messages. And we're talking about contacting and inviting. We're not talking about building a team and keeping in touch with people. We're talking about actually trying to get a presentation in front of somebody. No posting on other people's Facebook walls about stuff. Hey, you need to go look at my business. That's not going to work. No tagging other people in pictures they're not in, so that way they'll look at your stuff. I've been tagged in all kinds of crap. Typically, if you tag me in something, I'll delete your ass. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'll delete you right away. I'm like, I won't have people doing that to my stuff. Nobody else likes that. It's intrusive. It's kind of like forcing somebody into something. It's just a really creepy, bad marketing technique. Do not post 100 times a day, because posting 100 times a day, join my business, join my business, join my business, love my business, love my business, look at the product, look at the product, look at the product. We got a discount. We got a discount. We're going to do a sale. I mean, there's a certain aspect of keeping in front of people, and then there's another aspect of being an annoying idiot that I want to delete. And there's a fine line there. Do not post negativity about other people's companies. Do not inflate incomes. So-and-so made $6 million. In fact, based on the FTC notes, you're actually not allowed to post incomes at all. A lot of people don't know that. Number 8, you want to post about success, results, having fun. Like the before-after pictures are great. Oh my gosh, before-after. I mean, this is amazing. My friend just lost, this weight. My friend's skin just cleared up because there's a lot of different companies out there. My friend just had this success, and it doesn't say the company, and it doesn't say the product, and it doesn't say the name. It's just there was success. It's happened in Florida. So there's two mindsets when contacting people. Number one is try to sell every person you talk to. Now, if you have the mindset of sales instead of recruiting, here's what you're going to say. Here are the benefits of my product. My product is cheaper than yours. My product is in better packaging than yours. My product is non-GMO. My product is this. I got like 50 messages just in the last couple hours because I put up a post specifically about an industry, and this was called phishing. Okay? This is phishing. What I was actually doing, and I'm going to tell this on this call because you guys are here to hear, and some of you might have actually put up your link. I said, does anybody know anybody in this specific company, or not this specific company, does anybody know anybody with this specific product line? And if so, post your link. And everybody came at me like a pack of piranha on feeding day. I got instant messages. I got text messages. I said just drop a link. People were trying to call me to be first. Oh my gosh, he's looking for our product. Oh my gosh, I got to get him first, get him first, get him first. Text message after text message after text message. What they actually didn't realize what I was doing is I was fishing for people in that industry to contact me because I'm going to reverse it and I'm going to go after them. Everybody just went, oh my God. Like, I told that to one of my friends who contacted me like 5 times in a row. I said, do you understand what I just did? He's like, yeah, you're looking for our product. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not looking for your product. I'm actually making an example for somebody that I'm trying to recruit to show them how many people are in their space doing it wrong. He's like, oh my gosh. I said, because you just realized how many people reached out to me on that post, didn't you? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, what are they trying to do? They're trying to sell me. I said, how well do you think that's going to work with me? He's like, oh, that's not going to work at all. He goes, in fact, you'll probably end up recruiting half those people. I'm like, or what I'd like to do is I'd like to train them so that way they're doing it the right way to give them an advantage. Because if you're on my page, I feel that you're a friend of mine, and I feel I should teach you the right way to do it even if we're in a different company. Why? Because it makes the industry better. If you're successful in our market, I have somebody to point to and say, look, this does work. I know somebody that's not even in my company that's doing it the right way that's succeeding. That's big picture thinking. I want everybody to succeed. I want the marketplace to succeed. I want the industries to succeed. Trying to sell everybody, you're just going to talk about the benefits. But watch this. What if I'm trying to recruit people, and what I'm actually trying to do is present to as many people as I can and show them what I do and how I do it, so if they run into the right person, they can refer them to me. What if that was my goal? My goal is to literally take people from not knowing about what I do to knowing about what I do in the best possible way. It's called education. I'm going to educate people on what I do, and instead of trying to sell them, instead of trying to close them, I'm going to ask it in a way that's going to get them to listen to the whole thing, so if they run into somebody, they can refer them to me. Now, I will ask you this question. If I send a link to somebody and they don't watch it, can they refer me? The answer is no. If I send a 1-800 call for them to listen to a sizzle call and they don't listen to the sizzle call, can that person refer me anybody? The answer is no. If I send them a text message explanation of what I do and they don't read it, can they refer me somebody? The answer is no. So only if I pick up the phone and I physically tell them, here's the company I'm in, here's the need in the marketplace, here's the product we offer, here's the compensation of how we pay, here's the timing and the talent. Only if I get through all of those could somebody refer me the person I'm looking for. So I'm like, why aren't we doing more of that? Which is what I was originally taught when I first got in, by some of the people who have built the largest organizations in the world. Not only have they built the largest organization, they've also made the most money. So here's the best contacting method I've ever found. And this is what I taught Bess when Bess approached me with her way. And I'm like, that's good. But here's some situations where it wouldn't have worked so well. And she's like, oh, yeah, I guess, you know. I mean, we both agreed. We're like, yeah, that wouldn't have worked. It still could have worked. It just wouldn't have worked as well. And I said, what if I could give you something that would work in all of those scenarios? Whether somebody's made money or not made money, whether somebody's of high influence or low influence, whether it's male to female or female to male. She's like, okay, what do you mean? I said, well, here's my method. I said, can you do me a favor? I'd like to show you what I'm working on, so if you run into the right person, you can refer them to me. I said, here's what I want you to do. I said, I want you to take that script, and I want you to run it against every scenario you can imagine, and come back to me and tell me what the results are. And, you know, Bess is shaking her head. She came back and she's like, there's almost not a scenario that I could possibly think of where that won't work. And I said, that's why my method gets, here's the key is it gets the plan in front of more people. People are like, how do you overcome objections? I'm like, I don't get any. They're like, wait a minute, what'd you just say? They're like, yeah, but what about the people that say they don't have the time? I said, I don't hear that. Well, what about the people that say they don't like network marketing? I said, I don't hear that. Well, what about the people that say I don't like that company? I don't get that. Because of how I asked this up front. Now, I've even used this in a text message. Hey, can you do me a huge favor? I'd like to be able to show you something that I just started, something I'm just working on right now. So if you come across the right person, you could refer them to me. Do you have a couple minutes right now to talk? I'm not kidding. I could send that to 10 people right now. 5 people at 10 o'clock at night would be like, sure, what are you doing? And I could pick up the phone, and I could basically, I already have my presentation. I have my presentation memorized just because I've done the same thing so many times. But I physically took a flip book, and I wrote out word for word exactly what I say every time. Which means, you talk about duplication, I can hand that to somebody. Now, certain people are like, yeah, but I thought we weren't supposed to, we're not supposed to do the talking. Somebody else is. No, you're allowed to do the talking as long as you're not just talking. You're presenting. A presentation is following. I have to be pointing at something else or reading something else. So what I did is we created a flip book. I've done this in every business I've ever been in, and I found it to be the most effective, both time, both money. Here's the thing. I haven't found anybody who's been able to beat me that's done it with $0. That's key. I've never found anybody that's been able to beat me with a technique. In the long run, I've always ended up with more people, more money, a bigger team, more people on my team contributing to what's going on, more people in activity, more people getting paid using this technique. Now, I have known people who have used massive amounts of money to buy targeted lists, like a friend of mine who targeted 30,000 people to launch. Guess what that 30,000 people cost him up front? More than most of your mortgage payments, rent payments, and car payments, and for some of you, your entire monthly bills combined. This person just paid for the list up front. How duplicatable is that to the people on the call? Anybody have $3,800, $4,000 to throw away a month on marketing? There might be a couple people on here who have that kind of money. But then you have to know what to say on the marketing. Then you have to know how to set up the back end to make sure it all flows through right. You have to be both a marketer and a network marketer and a salesperson and a technician all together. Which basically what you're looking for is the needle in the haystack. You're looking for like one person in every 10,000. And if that's you, great. You want to call me after this? I'll show you exactly what to do if you have an extra $5,000 to throw at something. But for those of you who want to get to a point where you make $5,000 a month, I would suggest this technique. Stay in the company you're in as long as people are making money and you have a decent product and the compensation plan pays and the company, you know, seems to be structured right and everybody's doing what they should be doing. Use this technique. Hey, can you do me a huge favor? I would like to tell you about what I'm working on outside of my full-time job. I would like to tell you about what I'm working on outside of my normal career. Now, use the appropriate words. Like, if you work at McDonald's, you don't want to say, hey, let me show you what I'm doing outside of my career. People are like, your career? You work at McDonald's, dude. You're 18. What the hell are you talking about? Career. Like, it sounds weird, right? So you kind of have to word it for you, but this is the technique. And if you want help with this, send me your version of this. You should probably be able to use it word for word with almost everybody. Hey, do me a favor. I'd like to show you what I'm working on. So if you come across the right person, like, that works for almost everybody. But there might be certain tweaks. But, like, one word, maybe, that certain people need to do. Do you have a moment to talk right now? The next thing is the presentation. Now, where did I get the numbers? Why did I decide to do a physical presentation rather than send people a video? It's very simple. How many videos have you all been sent, and how many videos have you watched? The reality is if you send 100 videos out, 12 people will watch them all the way through. 12. Which means if you have 12 people on your list, you're only going to have one person who's going to watch that video all the way through. Just numbers, right? And, you know, some people are like, well, that just means you need to contact more people. Yeah, but you want to have a whole lot more results with the 12 people you are talking to? Remember, going back to what I taught in the beginning, it works because if I get the plan in front of more people, I take more people not knowing to knowing, I will have greater results on the other end, which is people who could buy, people who could get in, or people who could refer. For those of you who have spammed a bunch of people, like, I hate that process, by the way. I despise it, because why would I want to send out a bunch of messages and then go chasing people? Like, that's a horrible, and if you're sitting here going, yeah, that's what I've been doing for a while, how fun is that process? How fun is it chasing people down? Oh my gosh, did you watch the video? Oh my gosh, did you watch the video? Oh my gosh, did you watch the video? Well, can I call you at 5? Can I call you at 6? You know, if I would send you a video, would you watch it? I mean, it's not that, here's the thing, it's not that it doesn't work out there, but here's the other question, you know, because I just got out of a meeting. I was like, if that was really working really well, why y'all still sitting at the exact same position you were last year? That's my question. If it was really working, here's the thing. It's keeping people in the business. It's keeping retention for the people who are presenting who know how to grow. Hey guys, just send out 2 videos a day. If you just do your 2 exposures, everything's going to work out. For, yeah, the guy who's building the business the way I'm doing it, it's going to work out great because it's going to keep you guys in sending out your 2 videos, hoping and praying somebody's going to watch one. And every once in a while, you'll get somebody. But if you want to go in and you want to dominate, if you want to go in and you want to control what's going on, if you want to go in and actually make something happen very quickly, like recruit 20 people in 30 days and not work that hard, try what I'm going to tell you here. And here's the thing. It's your business. It's your business. You're able to do whatever you want. If your upline says, don't ever do that, and you can't do that, and you shouldn't do that, and you wouldn't do that, and I'll never help you again, it's still your business. You got to make your own decision. And if it was working so well for your upline, my question is does your upline have exactly what you want? And here's another point. Did they make it to the top before the internet came or after the internet came? I love the people who are pushing technology who never used it to build to the level they're at. I'm like, now, if you had built to $1 million and then technology came out and you built to another $1 million, now you have my ear. But if you built to $1 million before any of this existed and you're still sitting at $1 million, then guess what? I have a little bit harder time believing you. I think it's keeping people in. I think you're able to hold retention with this idea, but I don't necessarily see you succeeding beyond where you were. Bunch of ways to present. You can present by website. You can present by webinar. You can present by live conference call. You can present by third-party call. You can present face-to-face, home parties, whatever. So I actually looked this up. The Direct Sales Association, for those of you who don't know, the DSA.org, anybody can go look this up, DSA.org, or WFDSA, that's the World Foundation Direct Sales Association. They actually run statistics on thousands of companies. All the companies that are out there, you can pay to be part of this, and you're part of the statistics, and they do statistics, and they run analysis, and there's guys at the DSA, that make over $100,000 to look into our companies to make sure they're compliant, to make sure the products are good, to make sure they're abiding by all the rules around the world. In the United States of America, I'll start there because we're going to get to the world statistics, which are even worse. In the United States of America, this is awesome. 74%, write that down, 74% of people who join, get in, not buy a product, not are a customer, but become a representative of the company. They're a agent, or they're a IBO, or they're a rep or distributor, because there's a lot of different names for these people. You know, everybody has a different name for people getting in. 74% get in on a one-on-one. 7 out of 10 people who sign up get in on a one-on-one. %, get in at a party. Now let's define party, because party to me was different. I always heard party, and I always heard a home party had like, there was a guy that had a basement and he filled it and had 58 people, and people were like hanging on the rafters to watch the meeting, and there were people sitting in the crawl space to watch the meeting. I always heard meetings like that. Oh my God, his whole living room was full, and people were sitting on the kitchen counter, and they were stuffing people in the cabinets so that way everybody had a place to sit, and he had 32 people at his meeting. Have you guys ever heard this? Like, this is what I kept hearing on speeches about people having home meetings. Here's the definition of a party by the Direct Sales Association. 3 people or more. 3 guests. Just 3. That's it. 3 people or more. Now, I'm not saying don't have 20 people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, to those of you who have been scared that you can't do this on a big level, they're saying the people who move fast that are doing parties, 18%, that basically means 2 people. So think about this. 7 out of 10 people get in on a one-on-one. 2 people out of 10 get in at a party, and 1 person gets in, and it says other, which means it was either they found a link, saw a magazine, saw a DVD, watched something online, randomly signed up. Actually, I think that 1% actually accounts for a lot of German shepherds, goldfish, parakeets, grandmothers, who have no idea that they're involved in network marketing, but they needed 1 more person to hit the promotion. And they're like, guess what, Skippy the dog? You are a new distributor. Here, what's your social? Roof, roof, roof. All right, R. I'm kind of kidding, but I'm kind of not, because I've watched people hit promotions doing that. The world, okay, so this is the World Federation, says that people around the world who sign up inside of direct sales and network marketing, that 80%, so instead of 7 out of 10, it's 8 out of 10 people join on a one-on-one. And then it says 18% join at a party, and 2% have no idea how they sign up. So 2 out of 100 people have no idea how they sign up. 18 out of 100 signed up where at a party, and 80%, 80 people out of 100 sign up on a one-on-one. So here's what I learned. Whoever does the most one-on-one presentations wins. And what that also did is that gave me freedom. It gave me the best feeling in the world. I was like, man, that tells me that I can just go out and hustle. I can go out and just work hard. I can go out and just present what we're doing in the right way, using the favor script, getting the program in front of somebody in 10 minutes. And if I do that more times than everybody else, I will recruit more people. I will sell more product than anybody else. I will be able to train more people to do this. It becomes an easier, simpler business. And for those of you who don't know, I started working. Beth and I are very transparent. You know, I don't contact anybody in this school. And by the way, this is a non-recruiting zone. If you're found to be like targeting people in this school, you get thrown out. That's basically, and you get banned, and we're going to post a picture of you and, you know, your activities of what you shouldn't be doing. No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to basically ask you to leave, and you're not going to be allowed to come back, because it's a no recruiting zone. Now, if somebody comes after you and you disclose, that's not what I'm here for, And they're like, we don't care, we're going on your page and we're signing up. I mean, that inevitably can happen, but that's not what we're supposed to be doing here. I started working in a company again, and in the first 24 days, because it's 24 days exactly, we've recruited 30 people frontline. Using exactly what I'm talking about. Now, here's the neat thing, is a lot of people are like, oh yeah, but you knew all these people before. Guys, we're signing people up who have never seen network marketing before. I signed up 2 people recently that have never seen network marketing before in their life. They just happen to be people we know, and I said, hey, need a huge favor, I want to show you what I'm doing. And they're like, wow, what a cool concept. I'm like, have you honestly never seen direct sales before? They're like, no. I didn't even know this exists. Like, I didn't even know this industry existed. I said, have you never heard of Avon, Mary Kay? They're like, yeah, but we thought that was just like, I thought you like got hired somehow. I didn't know it was like an independent business. I'm like, what rock have you been living? I mean, I wondered, but I mean, that's how it works. Follow up. So what I do is can you do me a favor? I show them what I'm doing. And this is what I teach too. I show people to show people what you're doing. And if you need help figuring out how to do that presentation, that's what Beth and I are for. That's why we created this class in this school, is to teach people how to do this. And guys, we can teach it to you in 45 minutes. I can teach you exactly how to write all this out in 45 minutes. I don't care what the company is, what the product line is, how long the company's been around, how new it is. In 45 minutes, I can show you how to write it out where it's 10 minutes long. You're going to go over the company, the need in the marketplace, the products you offer, the compensation you offer, and the timing, and then basically what to do to get started. And then you have to be congruent at the beginning and the end. So let's say the presentation, this is the presentation's in the middle. So you have an introduction, the presentation, and then you have basically a conclusion. The conclusion is, thank you so much for hearing me out on what I do. Wow, we're talking about like genius stuff here that Jeff's teaching. Thank you so much for listening to what I do. If you ever run into someone who needs this, here's how to refer me. By text message, by phone call, whatever you want. Here's my business card. Just have them call me. Or I would like their number. Now, personally, I would always like the person's number because you know how people forget and then they don't do it and they think it's weird. You know, oh my gosh, I don't know that person, but I really need to call them, but I'm not going to. I'm going to set their card down. I'm going to write it on the back of an envelope. I don't know if you have notes on the back of an envelope. I'm going to write it on the back of the McDonald's bag. And you forget, and they don't know, and then they feel awkward to ask their friend again for the number that they told them. So just give the number to me. Connect us on Facebook. Hey, Beth. This is a good friend of mine, Jeff. That's simple. We'll take it from there. That's how to refer me. But I have to ask you, now that you took a look at what I do you have any personal interest? I have to ask that. Do you have any personal interest? No? Great. Thumbs up. That's how to refer me. End of story. Done. Last time I bring it up with people. Some people are like, well, you should just keep dripping on them. Oh, okay, so we're going to use Chinese water torture as a contacting method? Like, where the hell do people come up with these names? Just keep dripping on them. Just keep dripping on them. Eventually, you'll burn a hole through the top of their head, and all their brains will seep out, and then you can put network marketing stuff in instead. Wouldn't that be a great idea? No, that's not a great idea at all. I don't think so. But some people, like, use that technique and actually talk. Don't drip on people. Don't do that. Be normal. Be professional, and when they ask you again, or it seems pertinent, or they're like, hey, how's that thing going? You're allowed to talk about it. But if somebody says, I have no interest in this at all, and you keep talking about it, then you're that super annoying friend that they're going to start shielding their friends from you. But if they say, yes, I kind of have some interest, okay, cool. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're just going to refer me, or 10, you really have some interest, where are you kind of at? Well, I'm kind of like an 8. Well, are you more interested in the products we have or the opportunity, or both? Kind of both. Great. Let me get you some information. I'll send you over a video. See, this is where the video comes in. That video that you keep sending out that nobody's watching, if you tell them what it is first, and they now know what it is, and they now know the product you offer. But they don't know everything. They have questions about what? Ingredients. They have questions about where is it manufactured. They have questions about what quantity. They have questions about cost. They have all these questions. and you told them about the compensation, and they have questions about that. They're like, well, how do I make money? How do I make my money back? How do I make a sale? How do I recruit somebody? What's the difference between recruits and presentation? Your job isn't to answer all that. That's what the video is for. I said, well, I have a video I can send you over that probably answers most of that, but I'd also love to connect you to a good friend of mine that's doing very well in this company. Let me set that up right now. While I'm there, I text them the video. Everybody has a video, whether it's via a system or via YouTube or whatever. You have that link. Boom, I text message that link over first. The second thing I do is I three-way text myself, the person I'm talking to, and whoever the appropriate upline is or the appropriate support team is that can do the third-party answer all questions. In this case, if it was me, Bess, and Jerry, because Jerry's just the first person on my list here. If it was me, Bess, and Jerry, and I'm just going to use this example, is I talk to Jerry, and Jerry ends up, Jerry, let's say, showed Bess the program, and Jerry's like, I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Jeff. Bess, is that cool? Yeah, sure. So Jerry puts me, Bess, and himself in a text message and says, Jeff, I would like you to meet a good friend of mine, Bess. Bess, this is part of my support team. This is a good friend of mine. And there's usually 4 facts, 4 things you'd like to kind of convey in a message. The person I work with has been very successful with the company. The person I work with is a lot of fun to hang out with. The person I work with loves to help people, and the person I work with knows the facts. So if you have questions, this is the person to ask. Bess, Jeff, Bess. I do that in a text message. You'll never see me do a 3-way call. Never. Which, again, people are like, this guy is like the anti-network marketer. Here's why. The text message solves the 3-way call problem of what happens if I'm at dinner and Jerry calls me and I'm sitting with my wife, who is already skeptical about the business, already we're overworked, already we're not spending enough time together, and she's like, you're going to take another one of those calls? You're going to be on another call with your business people and leave me? We haven't had dinner together in 6-8 weeks. This happens in real life, guys. I'm not making it like I've worked with a lot of people who have had relationship problems because it's nothing but 3-way calls, and you've got to leave, and you got to get up. What happens if I'm at a funeral? What happens if I'm at a business meeting? But if it's a text message, I can do this at dinner. Hey, at dinner, great to meet you, Bess. Are you free in 30 minutes? Are you free in an hour? Great. I'll call you then. Boom, I set the phone down. Jerry saw that message transpire. He knows that I got back to her like that, and he knows the call's going to take place. End of story, done. And now watch this. Now Jerry's free to go contact somebody else and doesn't have to sit there on a 30-minute call about nothing. Because what happens if Bess is like, yeah, I really don't have any questions. I don't know why Jerry put me on the phone with you anyway. Have you ever had that happen? I had that happen a lot. Because people kept being told, put people, just get them on the phone with somebody. If you just get them on the phone with somebody, something's going to happen. Not if they're not interested. This is how I build a business. Number 1, creating that list and treating it like a business. Number 2, using the favor script. Number 3, actually physically doing a presentation. I get the plan. I get the program I'm in front of more people than anybody else. And I do it faster. I normally do it, guys. Sometimes, I'll be honest, I'm not even wearing pants. I'm wearing shorts. I mean, that's true. I'm wearing shorts instead. Because I'm usually sitting here at my office throughout the day, and I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops. You talk about a home-based business, it's home-based. I do most of my presentations. I work, guys, think about this. If my presentations take 10 minutes and then I text message people, I might work an hour and I've done 3 presentations in a day. My record is I've done 13 presentations in one day. Most people don't do 13 presentations in their lifetime in their company. Then, at the end, I thank people for hearing me out. I ask them if they have an interest. I find out if it's the product, the opportunity, or both. Scale of 1 to 10, kind of where they sit. And then I send them the information, and I connect them third-party through either, if they're a millennial, I might connect them through Facebook or something like that. But if they're my age, older, I'll connect them through a call. And then I move on to the next person. And then I move on to the next person. And here's what I do. I let the information get people to join and buy. I do not close and convince. Most people just tell me, I'm ready. I want to get a spot in this. Okay, cool. Well, do you want to watch this? Do you see the opportunity? Yeah, I see the opportunity. Can you afford to take advantage of it? Yeah, how much is it? I'm like, it's this and this. You know, here's the cost again, and here's the product. Can you afford to do it? Yeah, I can afford. I said, watch this. You talk about a great closing question. This is the #1 closing question most people miss. And if you're going to write anything down and you want to close a lot of people and you want to have a lot of people sign up in your business, this one thing you want to write down. And you want to memorize this. In fact, these 3 things. Do you see an opportunity? Do you have the ability to take advantage of it? Last, well, is it better financially? Is it easier to do it now or on payday? The reason I say that is so many people live paycheck to paycheck. You're trying to get them to close today because you want your commission. You're trying to get them to close today because you're trying to hit your level. You're trying to get them to close today because you're selfish and you're only thinking about yourself. What I do is I let them decide when they're closing. Now, the sooner the better, obviously. But I say, well, is now a good time because we're recruiting a lot of people? I mean, this is going fast. Or is it better to do on payday? If they have to tell you they don't have the money till Friday, you lose them. Why? Because they felt pressured. Because nobody likes to say, I'm broke. I take that excuse away. I take that away from people. I say, what's better, now or on payday? Payday's better. When's payday? Payday is the 15th. In fact, it doesn't have a company name on it, but this is the flip book I use. This application right here, I'm not going to show the details, but this application right here, I'm supposed to put in Monday. I forgot I had it. I just remembered today because I was teaching somebody else the same technique that I was just talking about. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to call her back and put her in. I've got the whole thing, got all the information. This is also why I use a paper application because I can be like, what's better, today or payday? Well, if today, we'll just get you in the computer right now. We'll use the... But if it's going to be in a week or so, no problem. We'll just put it in. Well, what day do you get paid? Well, I actually get paid on Friday, but it's not going to go through till Monday. Can you just call me Monday, and I'll give you the banking information, and we'll put you in? Yeah, that's cool. No problem. I can do it at lunch, or I can do it later in the day. That's for this application. By the way, this application will earn Brandy and I $160. And it'll take me maybe 30 seconds to a minute to fill out that banking information. I already have the rest of it. Hey, cool, I got it. We'll go ahead and put you in and place you. $160. Friday, we put in 8 people like that. Or was it 9? 8 or 9? I don't know. No, it was 8. It was 8. So, guys, that's what I have for tonight. The open house. How do you get people to the open house? You know, here's a 1-minute speech on the open house. After I present and after I do that third party, here's what I want my third party person to say. My third-party person is basically there to verify the information and invite them to the event. That's what I teach people how to do. So, for instance, if Jerry got me on the phone with Beth, I would say, hey, Beth, great, how are you? Real quick, how do you know Jerry? And she'd be like, we were internet friends. We saw each other on Facebook. Awesome, fantastic. Jerry obviously showed you the whole program, right? Yeah, he told me everything about it. What did you like best? And Bess would go on and, I kind of like the product, and the conversation's cool, but I have this question, blah, 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 blah. Oh, fantastic. I said, all right, well, did Jerry actually let you know about the event we're having on Sunday night at 9 o'clock? No, I don't think so. Well, if it's all right, I would like to invite you out. I mean, it sounds like you have some other questions, and what I recommend people to do is always see the information again, and we're going to do a Zoom that kind of covers all this, but in more detail. Jerry gave you the 10-minute presentation. There's actually a 30 to 45-minute presentation that goes into more detail, that breaks down the product a little bit more, tells about it. There's a little bit more detail here and there. I know he sent you a video on this too. The video is brief, but the event we're going to do, now that's an event that is online. Why would I invite her to a one online? Because I'm in Indiana and she's in Kansas, and Jerry, I can't remember. Is Jerry in California? I think Jerry's in California if I remember right. Jerry, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I think you're in California. Jerry's in California. Bess is like, yeah, no problem. I said, well, it's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so it's going to be 8 o'clock your time. Is that cool? She's like, yeah. I'm like, it's Tuesday night. Can I send you a message on Tuesday just to remind you? Jump on with us for 45 minutes. She's like, yeah, cool. Great. Is there anything else I can answer? No. Fantastic. Boom, I'm off. That just got Bess to go to the event. Now, do you think Jerry's going to show up at the event if Bess is going to come to the event? I'm going to then get off the phone with them, and I'm going to call Jerry right away and be like, Jerry, you just smashed it. That was awesome, dude. You know, you have somebody coming to the event. Now, the question is, can you roll through that same thing in between now and Tuesday? Let's just say the event's on Tuesday. Can you roll through that 2 or 3 more times, and let's put 3 or 4 people on that? The people who come to the event, this is why I get so many people coming to the event, is people are not coming to the event for the information. It's not a first exposure. I never bring people out to the event. I'm not saying you can't. I just never do it that way. Everybody who comes to the event with me has already seen the information, which means they're not coming for information. They're not necessarily even coming for confirmation. They're coming for validation. What does that mean? They're coming to validate, is what they told me true? Is what they told me true? Am I going to meet people there that say the same things, that believe the same things? Is the information going to be congruent with what I was told? And if it is, and we get done with that presentation on Tuesday night in 45 minutes, about 8:45, I will get back on the line with Bess and every other person Jerry sent me and be like, hey, Bess, what'd you like best about, you know, the presentation you just saw? And she'd be like, yeah. I said, well, did you get all your questions answered? You know, did you kind of, you know, the stuff that you were kind of wondering about? Yeah, I did. I said, well, you know, we don't hard close anybody. I mean, but do you see an opportunity with this? And she's like, yeah, I really do. I said, you know, is it something you can afford to take advantage of? She's like, yeah, I can afford it. And I said, well, you know, does it make sense to do it? Like, I don't care when you do it, but does it make sense to do it now or like payday? You know, when are you thinking to get moving in this? And she's like, yeah, I mean, I can do it right now. I'll just put it on a card. Okay, great. Let's punch into the computer. Let me make sure I got Jerry's link here. And watch this. I'll take over for Jerry at this point and put her in the computer. And then I'm going to pick up the phone and be like, Jerry, you got one. And Jerry's like, but I didn't even talk to him. I'm like, I know. But you're new. I'm here to help and assist you. We're going to build this really big. Now, the question is we're going to do this every single week until we have a team so big that there's so many people getting in that we can't actually predict or keep up with the numbers. Is that cool? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, good, because I have 2 more people to call back that were on our presentation that you also had on. Hopefully we'll get 2 more. So with that, I'm done. I'm going to turn this back over to Bess for a minute to kind of cover some stuff and close out. I'm going to run to the restroom, so it'll only take a second. And then we're going to open up the call for more questions and what you like best.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. And that's how this guy's recruited 30 people just recently. Do you know anybody else who's done it that fast? I'd like to welcome the people who have popped on that I didn't get to welcome before, and that is Patrice Reynolds, a good friend, and Dr. Chris Inamoto, and Antoinette Everett, and Teresa Barone, and Florian, Lisa Roush, and Rebecca Cook. Most of you guys are our students. So what you heard was, oh, by the way, whoever would like a replay, whoever is new, please, if you can, type, if you're on the video and able to chat, if you would like a replay of this, because there's a lot that probably just went by you here, but if you'd like a replay of this, just leave your email in the chat here, and if for those who are just on the phone, you can leave your email at the Facebook event Basics Open House. You can leave it there too, or Facebook message me. Anyway, get us your email if you want this sent to you. So we'll be glad to do that. And what you just heard was what Jeff described as the right words, the right system. What if that could help you to recruit to do twice as many presentations as you're doing, or even 10 times as many? And what if you sold twice as much product, or even 10 times as much product as you're doing now, or recruited 10 times as many leaders as you do now? And what if your team did that too? Because these techniques are simple and they're duplicatable. How much more money would you be making in the next 6 months if you use these methods and you were to double or even 10 times how much you sold, how many presentations you did, how much you sold, how many leaders you recruited? And like Jeff said, the whole idea is to get in front, do as many presentations as you can. He who does the most presentations wins. That's why I love the favor script, because it's a easy way to get in front of people. So this is the system. The favor script leads to the 10-minute presentation, not a video, because people are videoed out, they get busy, they don't watch it, then they avoid you because they didn't have time to watch the video. So you do the 10-minute presentation yourself. And then is the follow-up with a 3-way call and getting them to an open house or a meeting or a presentation online or in person. If you would like a copy of all of this stuff written down, I took notes from Jeff. I put it in my book that was already existing called Always Get a Yes. It's a real short 30-minute read book. But I wrote all this stuff down and I put it in this book. And it includes the favor script and includes the 10-minute presentation. There should be 5 components to it and 3 bullet points under each of that. And that includes your company, the need, the product, the comp plan, and the timing, and 3 bullet points under that. So I put this in the book and how to write that all. A lot of you have the book already, but if you are new here and you would like to get a hold of that book, just go to mlmmillionaireclub.com/basics, mlmmillionaireclub.com/yes. I'm sorry. Basics is the class, this class people are in, but the book for $17, it's an ebook, has all this written down. That's mlmmillionaireclub.com/yes, because the book is called Always Get a Yes. Instead of go for no, we're going for yes. So you can get that book. However, if you're thinking of joining this class, don't worry. Everybody in this class already has the book. So you don't need to get it if you're thinking of joining the class, which you could get it at mlmmillionaireclub.com/basics. Now, getting people to the open house, you can do your 10-minute presentation there. You can let people know those 5 bullet points. But the thing about getting to an open house is show up, be ready with all of the product, the paperwork, and everything. Have the clarity of what you want to say, and attend to all 4 of the 4 personalities. The dominant type, the fun type, the relationship type, the logical type of person. Appeal to all 4 of those. And tell stories. Did you notice tonight that Jeff told a lot of stories? That fires up people's imagination. It shows them it's possible, brings it home to them that it's real, it can happen for them. And stories are memorable. They walk away with that. But they see what's possible. Tell your own stories, but if you don't have them, tell your upline stories or stories that you've learned in your company. So if you observe what we did tonight, that was part of how we conducted this open house for you. One other thing that you can do at when you're speaking to people is at an open house is appeal to the emotions. Now, people on this call, it's the same thing. The people that we're helping here and the people that you are helping at your open house, it's the same type of people. And personally, I have 4 people that I really, really like to help learn these methods that Jeff just taught. So my 4 pet areas that I really like to help people, and these can be the same pet areas that you can use at your presentation. There are parents who can feel satisfied to be home with their kids and stop feeling the regret of missing their kids' childhood. Seniors who want to feel secure about their retirement. Employees who can feel ecstatic when they fire their boss. And students who can feel the relief of paying off their loans. These are the types of people that I love teaching this method that Jeff just spoke about too. But those are also the same type of people that you can speak to at your open house, because this probably covers about 95% of people, you know, seniors and employees and students or anybody with a debt, with a loan, with any kind of debt, or people who are parents and they'd really rather be with their kids than let somebody else raise them or miss their kids' childhood. So those are people that I like to help here and people that you can also speak to. We have specials for people who happen to be on this call or not yet in the class. And Steve, glad you're here. Yep. So a lot of you have hopped on here as a guest. I have a good number of people that we think are guests are on here that I don't recognize your phone numbers. A lot of people on here are ready students. They've been in the school for some of them almost a year. But some of you are new here, and if you think that you've gotten value, we're glad to have you join us. If you think this class could benefit you as a regular member, we'll be glad to hear any questions. In a little bit, we can turn the recording off and take any questions from you. I want to let you know that the school itself, we have made it very affordable. I was charging $400 a month for this school, which people were making money with it, and that is a good value for all the tools and all the many resources that they were getting in the school. The class that we are offering, that you're on tonight and that we offer on a weekly basis, is only it's only $25 a month. So we made it very, very affordable so that we could help a lot more people. And we invite you to take advantage of that. People who are using the script have been jumping ranks like crazy. David Roeder says, I spoke to 4 people, 3 customers, and 1 recruit, and I jumped a rank as a result of using these methods, and I only talked to 4 people. That's, 100% conversion rate. Other people, Joyce Chokowski's on here. She goes, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you I've jumped 3 ranks since November, I think it was, Joyce. And Joyce is a huge connector. She's has guests on this call too. I know her from Austin when I used to live there. Very totally service-oriented person. Other people, I've jumped ranks, got a new car bonus, quadrupled my sales because of this method, because of the favor method and the script. And because of the encouragement of these classes, you guys have given me the confidence. I'd be stuck without you. I couldn't have done this without you. So this is what we want to make available to everyone here. And the class is just $25 a month, but there are 2 specials we're offering tonight, which are only going to be good for the next 48 hours or till midnight on Tuesday. And everyone can take advantage of this, even existing students. And that is that we would like to offer you, for people, we want to reward people for making a commitment of a year. So for people who purchase a year's worth of these classes, that would be $300. It's 12 times 25. It's $300. For people who purchase this, Jeff and I would like to give you 2 free coaching sessions to go with that. The coaching sessions are worth $250 each. So this is $500 of coaching from us for free as a bonus thrown in for people who purchase a year's worth of the classes. And so it's a total of an $800 value for $300. The coaching session is an hour long to explode your network marketing business. There's no hurry on how soon you have to take it, so don't worry. It doesn't have to be immediately. And it can be with your choice of Jeff or me, or actually both of us. So we've dual coached people before, our students, and they've just rave about the value that they've gotten. So you can do that. You can get that coaching session with us. Another special we want to offer is the 12 months for half price. In other words, instead of the $300 that you could just pay $150 and get your 12 months. We want to make this available even to the students already in the school who would like to take advantage of that, because again, we'd like to reward that commitment. So that is what we have. When you do sign up for any of those two specials that I mentioned, the $300 or the $150, you will be entitled to renew that once it's up. After a year, it will set you up on an annual recurring membership, so that you can cancel at any time. Of course, you don't have to renew, but it will allow you to renew in a year at the same discount. So it's like you get a perpetual discount. Once you jump in and get this, you can have a perpetual discount going on. And yeah, the people who jump in at $25 a month, this fixes your rate, because we know it's a real low rate, and at some point we expect that it will go up. But right now it's at this low rate. So once you join at $25, that fixes your rate for good too. And just for those who are new here or new in the school who don't know about it, that Wednesday night class, MLM Leadership University, there is a discount for the people who are in this Quick Start Basics class, a $25 a month class. You join that and you can get a discount for that Wednesday night Leadership University too. So just private message me about that and I'll be glad to get you that discount as well. What else, Jeff? A couple questions. Oh, Florian left his email. Okay. All right.
I think what we need to do is turn off the recording, and what we'd like to do is find out what you liked best. We're going to open the call up and kind of roll through some people here real quick.
I should, before we turn off the recording, I should let you know where to get those specials.
Yep.
You can get those at mlmmillionaireclub.com/basics. So you can get a choice of those three options. If you'd like to join us, you think this could benefit you, go to mlmmillionaireclub.com/basics. If you want just the book, you want to get a hold of all these details, go to mlmmillionaireclub.com/yes. I'll put those in the chat.
Cool. Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the recording. Appreciate everybody for jumping on to this class. I hope you got something good out of it.